think one of the leading challenges we have with culture today is this concept of moral relativism, which moral relativism simply stated is a philosophical view that moral truths are not absolute, but depend on individual, cultural, or societal context. And so it's this idea that people have said today that my truth is my truth and your truth is your truth.
Sure.
And the truth about truth, it's either true or it's not true. So the idea that I can just come up to you and say, hey, this is what I see as reality.
Your experiences can lead you to have certain perspectives on things, but there's only one truth.
There is only one truth, but I think one of the biggest problems we have today because of social media is people can't clearly think for themselves.
Sure.
It goes back to that 2 Timothy 4:3. They put themselves around for what their itching ears want to hear. Mm-hmm. And so they find somebody that is explaining something that sounds truthful, and they go, well, I like that, so that's going to be my new truth. And so some examples of this would be sexuality. You know, the Bible teaches about sex before marriage. In Hebrews 13, it says save sex for the marriage bed is what it tells us. But culture today would tell you, well, that's just an old way of thinking. There's nothing wrong with this. This is how I express myself. The Bible is an old book written by old people, and it's not culturally relevant. And the problem that I see with stuff like that is, well, where does that stop? Like, at what point do you draw the line and go, you know, there is no more morals, nothing matters. If nothing matters, we go on, nothing happens after we die, then we're just here on this earth existing for no other reason for self-pleasure. Marriage is another one. Why be committed to one person? If the going gets tough, I will, and I have the ability to just leave. And how do I know that the person I'm with is the one, which is one of the biggest lies there could be a million ones out there. And so what ends up happening, consequently, because of that, we have people that are more broken, more anxious, more desperate. We have, as we talked about in our previous series, we end up with more fatherless homes because we've lost the ability to commit. And marriage is really an interesting one for me because marriage is not a state issue. It's not a governmental thing. It was founded by Christ and the church. And so if you're going to take on the concept of being married and you're going to fight for marriage, then you're stealing a principle from the Bible. And if you're going to do that, then you need to live underneath the terms of it, not because, God set up the foundation of marriage, not because he wants you to be stuck down and bogged down with one person for the rest of your life. God looked at that and said, your life will go better if you do it this way. But if you can never look at that and go, well, there's truth in that, then you'll always be this person that's always going to be searching for the next thing and the next thing, trying to fill whatever you have that's missing in your life. And at the end, I think you end up more broken than when you started.
Well, I think that's the main component. You said it, your initial thing was about sex before marriage. God says sex is to be shared with a man and a woman upon marriage. And then the second piece is that marriage is for life. Mm-hmm. Those are that's just what God says. That's not Jonny making that proclamation. Right. That's how God defines it. So, and it's, the hope of that is that it then is for procreation. So then you have children that are the next generation. Mm-hmm. So there's a bunch of these things that God's talking about. Again, not Jonny and Andy. We just read the Bible and go, this is the truth, right?